The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Friday.
27th of
Today is
June.
Friday, June 27th. A little after.
Also known as VJ Day. We can call it VJ Day.
Ain't no VJ Day.
Yes, also known as why y'all doing my
Ain't no
MP?
VJ Day
Why
over
y'all
there.
doing my MP Adrian White like this day?
Ain't no
In the
Adrian White
Tribune, they
MP.
put the wrong name to his face. In the Guardian, they
Let
say
me-
White. The
let
whole
me-
picture
woman,
is just white.
Woman. Let me finish doing my intro, please.
I very rarely get to row about politics, man.
It's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is CA Newry. And I know, Guardian Radio AM. Before we start, we say Guardian Media Group, today's the last day. Today is the last day to drop off those forms. So you need to come down to Guardian Radio, Guardian Media Group, and drop off that form in the foyer there. I mean, it's getting full. But you be the last one by 5 o'clock, and I'm sure when they shake that up, more than likely you might be the winner to win this, right? Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel wants to take you on a 7-day cruise for Panama. For 4 people, they go into Panama, Curacao, Colombia, and Aruba on the Royal Caribbean Serenade of the Seas. And here's the best part. You don't need no visa to go to this place, right? That's right. No visas required. You have 4 ways to win. Mostly everyone fill out the form for Guardian, right? So you fill out the form in the Nassau Guardian. I tell you, buy your 4 newspapers now and bring in your slip and drop it in that box. Or listen to Star 106.3 and Radio 96. That's us talking right now. Or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Or make a purchase at Going Places Travel. You get to do that entry there. Okay, the entry deadline is today. The entry deadline is today, June 27th, today. The drawing for it, that's when they bring all the forms from all the various places and avenues and put it in one place. The drawing for this will be on July 4th. It's going to be a big day on July 4th, 2025. So pack your bags, get ready to soak up the sun, feel the ocean breeze. You and 3 other people, 3 of your loved ones, sailing on the high seas on a vacation cruise of a lifetime. Brought to you by, of course, Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel. What do you want to say?
Could I read a little notice from my community?
Which community is that?
Johnson Road.
The high-end community.
St. Anne. No, it's the sort of maybe.
There's no poor people in St. Anne's. Is there poor?
Yes, you.
What part
in
is
the
St. Anne's?
lower part of Johnson Road.
I like how you say the lower part.
Yeah, I ain't
So it's the lower and
By-
the upper part.
But that's the language that people would use, like you. That's the language like you.
You sound like
would
a colonizer.
Use. Yesterday, I asked my neighbor what I was surprised at the flood, and he said, "We in the valley, you know."
In the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quick notice
Go ahead.
from Johnson Road. Hey, Johnson Road, it's that time again. Get ready for the ultimate drive-through experience this Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. We'll be out in full force handing out flyers and application forms for our upcoming Jamboree. And trust us, you do not want to miss it. Meet us at the Johnson Road Basketball Court at 2:30 p.m. That's right behind the constituency office. We're coming with a speaker set and microphone, so you know the vibes will be loud, clear, and full of energy. Come early, bring the energy, and let's make some noise. Swing by, honk your horn, grab your gear, and get hyped. The countdown to the Jamboree starts now. Let's go Johnson Road.
Adrian White sent you that day.
No.
It sounds like an Adrian White
No,
commercial.
man.
You know, we don't do commercial.
No, it ain't a commercial.
Our goal is to be central, be neutral on the show now. You know? But okay. That's
Yeah,
right.
man.
But I ain't Adrian White said that.
No,
Okay,
no.
that's good
It's
that
a
you read.
community member.
We are continuing from the last show.
I still mad about
for
the
country, for country, for self, for country, and for party. And we're using VJ Edgecombe also as part of our analogy in this, right?
Yeah.
We have a number of texts. I'm going to have Aaron run through the texts because we had tons of texts, and I want to make sure they are included in the conversation. So we'll have you call in right now, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, 242 300-5720. That's the Family Island. Or we use the text line and we'll make sure we read you into the record. We don't want no PLPs talking about the afternoon. We want PLPs talking about PLPs, please. Don't be calling the show and say, I know for a fact that the F&M doing this when you don't even saying nothing with the PLP
No,
doing, man.
I will let it slide. If you could call in.
You gotta prove it.
You could
Tell me who PM
You
you.
could call in and talk about the FNM if you could also tell me how much they spent at the 50th Golden Jubilee.
Yeah.
Since you know secrets.
They hang and never tell you what they spend on the 50th.
But then they can't talk about the FNM. That's cool.
It goes right back to my
Yes,
point.
yes.
So go ahead. Let's run through these texts. Caller,
Okay.
I see you. But we got to run through the
There's a
text.
text. So if everybody deserves a chance, does that also mean the COI deserve a chance? Yeah. Once y'all not storming hotels and putting people on Interpol blacklists, once you ain't doing that, representation lasts up until the polls. After that, it's all party. We could change that, though. Okay, here's another text. When will the PLP name their candidates? We already know some of their sitting MPs are running. Here's another text. Man, come on, the leader and deputy are automatic. No need to rush those two. But see, now there's speculation afoot, and everybody
Only
in the
PLP speculating. The F&M doesn't know. The PLP being mischievous.
Okay, here's another text. Aaron and Newry, Michael Pintard is trying to steal the COI slogan. I saw that, caller.
I did see that caller.
I was going to get there. They say change is here.
They trapsy.
But I just
F&M like nice things.
The problem is this: the COI ratified long time.
I don't even know none of the candidates.
Well, I was about
You
to say
was trying
that's
to say
another.
one of my cousins was a candidate, and I say I would have known if my cousin was running.
I want to say that's another critique, right? That I had, which is you heard any mention of the COI candidate that has already been ratified for a seat, right? In reference, but people call in, I expected somebody to say, man, so and so is already on the ground in this constituency. The COI have a few steps ahead with this candidate, ahead of the candidate that was announced last night by the FNM.
They need to go live at 6. Each candidate have their own live.
I waiting. So Sands took the voice note from Mitchell. Mitchell is always doing the voice note.
Yeah.
I waiting to see the first person to take the go live at 5 from Bain.
Soon, go ahead.
So Pintard is trying to steal the COI slogan. This shows he's not original. He's visionless and a puppet that only copycats other people. This is not what Bahamians want. We want real change. People who are passionate about the Bahamas, for Bahamians to prosper over foreign entities. Has everyone, coming to you now, caller, hold on. Has everyone already forgotten being locked down and locked up? COVID took out a lot of Bahamians. We aren't interested in slavery anymore. And we see through their visionless smoke and mirrors. Leave that slogan, change is here, alone. This is sad. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Aaron, and to CA. I like how you said, don't call unless you got some proof.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That was brilliant. I have some proof.
Go ahead.
I have proof, CA and Aaron, and everybody listening,
Go ahead.
that they did not want you to have anything better or more than you have now. Not one new hospital, 50 years. Not one new, where's the new airport? We've had governance for the last 50 years. I'm not talking about this administration. They're not finished yet. I'm talking about prior to that. For the last 49 to 50 years, if they wanted you to have real roads, you would have had the best roads in the world.
So you mean
If they wanted you to have a new hospital
But
in
who's
5 major...
they? Who's they?
Governance, my friend.
So you're saying
Yellow-
the
yellow and
governance,
red have-
you're trying to say
yellow
that the Bahamian people have issues then?
No, what I'm trying to say is you've put some people in power under false pretenses, in my opinion, that said they were coming to help you.
So you're saying that
it appears-
people, you're saying that the different people for the past 50 years, majority black people, for the past 50 years have failed.
No, I haven't said failed. Because if you...
So they were
their
successful.
Now you said they failed. No. They checked their bank account, checked their house, checked their whatever. They didn't fail. You are failing. We are not... How many millionaires have we made in the last 50 years? We made a handful under Celinda and Oscar Pinland, yes, okay. After that, from 95 to now.
So
See,
you're saying that the Bahamian people has failed? So the problem is the Bahamian people?
No, it's not the Bahamian people. It's the persons you put there that didn't do what they told you they were going to do.
You're trying to say that it's the Bahamian people we put there. So we continue to put Bahamians in, and whoever Bahamian we put in will continue to do the same thing.
Well, you know what? Let me try justify this. Hey, Aaron and CA, I've had a bad significant other in a yellow shirt.
Sorry about that.
And then I left and I went to a bad significant other in a red shirt. Now I got this new significant other in the church.
No,
Someone saying,
I'm saying that you're promiscuous. You need to stay. You need to stay by yourself.
Don't entertain it. Graham,
Stay by yourself.
Graham, I fighting for my life in the studio right now. Don't join the fight.
You keep on going from man to man to man.
Here's the question.
Stay by yourself.
Graham,
we can sing
join the
together,
church.
but we-
hold on,
Wow,
Graham.
We can
Graham.
sing together, but we can't talk together.
Yeah,
The
but let
bottom
me
line
speak.
is, let me get to. But the point was quite simple. It's you've had two bad choices in your dating scenario growing up. Now you have a choice that may be a nice, decent Christian significant other. Are you going to try that or go back?
I try to try it now. I trying to ask you a question now, man.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna try it
Wow.
out. Okay. So I know, most of us know, I hope most of us know, the COI has already ratified their full slate of candidates, right?
Including me, full disclosure.
Yeah, which constituency you running for?
I don't have to run. I can walk. The great constituency of St. Anne's, formerly Montague.
Man,
You
why
got rid
we
of it.
have to row? Those two people I have to row with, you and Adrian White. Okay, let's put that aside. Put that aside.
I didn't call you names if you didn't vote for the Red Party.
That's
Let's
okay.
move on.
That's okay, man. I'm fighting for my life already in here. It's a simple
Let me
question.
help you.
No, don't help me. The simple question I have for you, and I guess for the COI generally, how y'all going to respond to the FNM candidate launch?
We don't have to. We already responded in a great launch, a huge launch. You saw it yourself out there at the movie theater. It was packed, people in the road. What else do you want us to say to you?
Thank you.
You have a-
Thank you very much. That wasn't the right answer, Graham. I can be honest. That wasn't the right answer, but thank you very much for playing along. I fighting for my life in here, Graham. Me and you don't need to fight too. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning,
Good morning.
Aaron.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling and Mr. Newry,
Yes.
calling from the great constituency of Carmichael.
All right.
Just for the record, right? You said that ain't nobody calling from the COI and letting you know what's happening. Let me let you know what's happening in Carmichael, right?
Okay.
A rematch is about to take place in Carmichael. The three candidates would run. The last general election is running again in this same general election. Only different is one is now on the ticket that they was
Running against.
right.
Yeah.
Okay? So Miss Charlotte Green, the chairman of the COI, was on the ground for a few years on Carmichael right now. Way out in the front of Miss Kamala Free, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
we've been on the ground, right? So just for the record, right? While we have a lot of rhetoric going on back and forth about the PLP and the FLM, right? It's good to know, right? Because see, the shock and surprise to a lot of people who might not be conscious or pretending that they ain't saying what they saying, right? Will feel it on that day. But just for the record again, Charlotte Green will be the only woman standing up inside this two women fight this general election. You guys have a nice day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. I upset because I don't want to see Komalafi go up against Green. Right? You got two strong women, right, who have been doing work in various ways. I don't want to see them have to go up against each other. But that's going to be interesting. Let's go to the next caller. Good morning, caller.
Who are they running against in the PLP?
Who in Carmichael?
Yeah.
Hold on. Good morning, caller.
Well,
Hi. Let's start again. How you do?
Huh?
Let's start again. I missed some of that.
oh, I apologize. Yeah, since we don't have Darrell here anymore, right? Are they hosting auditions to who's going to call the election?
Oh boy.
No one could call it like Darrell.
That's something, man.
Why, John Doe, no votes.
Man, listen, Darrell used to hate people's feelings, man.
Oh yeah. Guess what? If we don't have someone like Darrell to call elections, let's just cancel the election. That ain't even make no sense no more.
You know what?
Ain't no one could call the election like Darrell.
You know what? It almost sounds like a joke because it is funny, but it's so serious. You are not wrong, right?
Okay.
You're not wrong. It's
John Doe, COI, no votes.
we have to have Listen, we got to have professional, informed moderators or journalists to call the election. That
Rodney, could call it after the election like Rodney. So we in double trouble now.
Ah boy.
Yeah, we in some problems.
I just
They need to call our
just wait,
auditions.
listen. You hear the tune? I'm just fighting for my life in the studio, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't watch nothing. I appreciate what you're saying. It's an important point. To the media houses, right, and to the commentators and the moderators and the people who want to call election, you gotta have a lot of knowledge. You gotta have the right, like it's like being in the Senate. If you don't know why they couldn't find Jerry Roca in town, I don't know if you qualified to call an election.
Let's go to the next caller.
Yes.
And get my text ready.
Yes, sir.
Just finish reading this text. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
I get it.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Green. Good morning, Mr. Newry.
Morning.
Mr. Green, when it comes to female candidates, a lot of people, I think, with politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get personal, but I'll share my life experience. One of the best female candidates and lady that I've personally known was Mrs. Sylvia Scriven, right?
Okay.
I spoke highly of her years ago all the time because I actually knew her, and I grew up in Sunshine Park, and she had a house on the corner with her husband, and I went to school with her children. And so as she was in office, you saw the humanitarian philanthropy work that philanthropic work that she was doing. And so I knew that she was sincere because I knew her, and she treated us just like her children. She used to invite us into her house. We used to go. They might have had a pool in the back, but I can't remember. But she treated me and my siblings very nice, and she was always a nice person. I never saw this lady. I mean, she was just a nice person. So the same thing I'm saying here. I had a chance to get to know Dr. McGyver from going to her dental practice. Mm-hmm. So I know she's a nice lady. Knowing her on a personal level, I don't know, but in my encounters with her in her office and practices, she would always treat you and give you good advice. She was just a nice person. So I go by how I encounter people. I don't go by the profiles that people put out. You see?
But did you hear the profiles that each candidate had last night at the rollout?
No, I didn't listen to it, but why I commented on Dr. McGyver is because he asked the question, why would people with money join politics? But you can see the sincerity with some people. They have no need to enter politics. So then that's the model I wanted to send out because, I like Charlotte Green. I love Komalapi. I love those ladies. They represent, to be honest with you, I think they are impeccable. And so for me, I think females can be better politicians than men because politics is a man's game, and then the egocentric and egomaniacal features creep in there, and it's just it doesn't bode well. And so I want to put this in because I was having a conversation with Clint the other day, and I remember talking with Dr. Johnson, and Clint reminded me that when they asked the former PM Finland if he wanted independence, he said he wanted only internal governance. And so this is what sickens me. We have run with our colonial model and have adhered to everything that masters want us to, but we expect to be successful. Like Graham highlighted these things, right? After 52 years, I sent a text from the previous show, but you all didn't read it, so I called. Well, after 52 years, we see that nobody cares, but yet still, let's give the government chronologically, respectively, a grade after 52 years. And some of the things that really could have been changed, but the fact that Graham mentioned those things is very sickening. And so the fact that PLP fanatics would call in and don't criticize their party is scary for me. You can't be my friend if you don't criticize me. That means you don't have no love for me and you don't want me to be a better person.
There you go.
Even though you went to see my person.
Thank you. 52, I was just about to say, I want a politician, like, if you're a politician and your mouth always filled with fighting words, it can't be filled with food at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Read through those texts so I go back to the call.
All right.
Again.
Here's a text. It is amazing, Bahamian, so passionate about these two lousy party. BPL still killing up crime. BPL still killing up crime. Housing is bad. Immigration is not worthy. We suffer and boycott this election until parties put us first, and we should vote for a leader. Davis liked baseball, but the former national sport was cricket. One strike and you're out. Yeah, they hit that wicket. That's it. Another quick text. It's amazing how much nonsense these PLPs talk. Mr. Pintard obviously has significant star power. He ran against the former FNM leader and prime minister and won 3-1. He can run wherever the FNM decides. His candidates are always asked to move for the betterment of the movement in the country. The question is, has Pintard produced anything better than Who Moved My Cheese? Did he write? No, that was lying. Than the Politrix? Has he produced anything better than Politrix?
Politrix is a good book.
I mean, it was.
Yeah, I mean, explain Bahamian politics. It's clear. Both PLP and FNM fit right inside that book. Mm-hmm. But now it's only that. Anyway, let's go to the caller. Let's go to the caller. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM. You're live.
Hey,
Morning.
Be with you.
Good morning. Turn your radio down.
Okay, we clear the board. Call us back. The numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259.
All right, the texter here says, morning. Someone say Mr. Adrian White is married to a black woman. I want to see a family photo, you, your wife, and kids, if any. Why? Hold on, why? Stop it. That's what you say, right?
Yeah,
Stop it.
Why you stop it? No, I want you to explain.
No, I want the texter to stop it.
No, yeah, I know. But why you want the texter to stop it? I know why, but I want you to explain it to them so they understand why you want to stop it.
Because you are displaying not just prejudice, but ignorance, and you're displaying your prejudice in the most vile way. First of all, yes, Mr. Adrian White is a politically exposed person. There are things about his life that are just going to be exposed. The way you come at it is not like that. Now, I noticed by my whole life, yes, he has a wife of African descent.
Yeah.
And he has children.
I see the black Karen with the curly hair. I mean,
Right?
I thought we saw all the pictures. He put all your family pictures out.
He have a wife. I like my neighbor. They just beep their horn when they pass their neighbors.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's the qualification for me. It don't matter if you white or black or Chinese. It don't matter. If you acknowledge your neighbors when you passing them, we good. Y'all stop with this foolishness.
Plus, he come from a long line of Bahamians, historically long
Yes.
line of generation.
Like, how long my family been here in Newry? You say from 1700s, right?
1784.
Something like that,
Yeah.
right? I mean, his people may have been here slightly longer than mine,
Yeah,
right? But
that's
we've been
fine.
here a long time, man.
yeah.
This is the gutter stuff that we don't want in this politic. You leave these people children out of it.
Two more texts before we go to the call.
Call, I see you. Hi, Erin and Newry. The Komalafi woman, she stand a better chance in Africa, not the Bahamas.
Okay, you need to do a commentary on that.
Yeah, stop it.
Why are they saying in Africa, you think they're saying that?
Because
of a
her
name.
last name, that's a married name, you know. She married.
So when you marry foreigner, you ain't entitled to run no more. That's what according to the texter.
That's what is
that
being
problematic?
implied. Yes, of course, it's problematic.
Explain. So the texter
She's a
can speak.
Bahamian.
Can I talk to the texter?
Yeah, texter. She's a Bahamian. No matter what her last name is, she could run. And it once you see, and y'all making some mistakes nationally, like nationally. She's the Bahamian. She's also of African descent. That's ethnicity. That's stronger than nationality.
It seems like some Bahamian have issues with certain last names.
Yes, they do.
That don't sound Anglo enough.
Now, I agree. Question. See, for me, the DNA was not sufficiently forthcoming with any of their platforms or politics, especially for a new party. And it left people to speculate. It may be a problem that the DNA created for itself, and Komalafi is living the consequence of
Let's
that.
go to the callers. Let me just continue with the text. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Hey, you ready? You doing?
Doing well, man.
Quote for the day. Trolls live off sound bites.
Trolls live off sound
Trolls
bites.
live off sound bites.
Explain that quote. I like it. Go ahead. Explain what you're trying to say.
They don't check their information before they open their mouth. All they know is this thing have traction, and they're going with that. Okay. Anyway,
I thought you
About
was
the pol-
I thought you was saying that people is get paid to talk foolishness in these war rooms. I thought that's what you was gonna say.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They trolls ain't a little bit free, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Trolls working for somebody.
Yes, sir.
Now, about the nice person, I prefer cordial. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I got to choose between being nice and stubborn, I got to choose stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
I need a stubborn leader.
Mm-hmm.
I need a stubborn. I need a person who gonna bend if they have to. But in our culture, when you see somebody being described as being nice, if they are a politician, they probably linked to the public treasury in a way that ain't good to the rest of us. They're doing a lot of things, but it ain't their money.
Aye.
We need to come back to this issue. Hopefully, some people who have money and stubborn choose to be candidates in this coming election. Stubborn and got money.
Okay.
Amen.
Thanks very much, caller. Let's go to the next caller there, producer. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM, and we go straight to text again. Go ahead, caller. Call a girl once. You ready for me for the text, Aaron? Call a girl twice.
I'm ready. I was also going to look up the Free National Movement website to see if they've updated it yet.
Free National still have a website?
Yeah, and Pintard is on the cover page.
They take off Minnesota website?
Ha ha. Okay. Here's a text. Graham is saying FNM, PLP, UBP will never change. Their plan is working perfectly for them, and their slogan should be slavery is cool. Here's another text. A good boycott against the FNM and PLP would be a vote for COI. Okay. That's very interesting, Texter. The EU just blacklisted the Bahamas yet again. It cites a dereliction of duty in not implementing necessary regulations. Hold on.
We've been implementing things again and again and again and again, and the goalposts continue to change again and again and again. We got to be sincere when we do the critique, though. We've seen 4 administration responding to whatever MLAT treaties and whatever it is they're doing, and trying to get us off blacklist on top of blacklist. But every time we get off one, we get put on the next one.
Yeah, because blacklist in and of itself is a slur. There you go. PM Davis also married a foreigner, so marrying a foreigner shouldn't be an issue.
Mind you, when they made the PM's wife so active, vocal, I was concerned. I, being a semi-nationalist, right? I am uneasy when other nationals have such a vocal voice in our politics. But the PM wife is a nice lady, and she's doing an awesome job, and I appreciate her.
And at the political level,
yes,
right, in terms of the office of the spouse, I think she has done a good job in avoiding controversial issues or issues that, like you say, maybe a foreigner should stay away from at the national level. But also, at the time that the Bahamas adopted the Office of the Spouse, there was a regional movement, right? And so I went to a meeting in 2019 in Barbados, and I sat with the spouse of the Prime Minister of Belize, or the spouse of the former Prime Minister of Belize, and she was instrumental in creating an organization of spouses of the Prime Minister within the region.
Yes.
And so those people, that's men and women, they worked together, and I'm sure that they created a platform, right? Like this is going to be the boundaries of what it is that we do, right? And I think they discussed it at regional level.
And kudos to Mrs. Davis. She has been walking well in terms of avoiding issues. One or two things I think she slipped upon. I said, no, miss. You're no politician. Sticking to your office as Prime Minister.
And very gracious in understanding the need for political critique at the national level.
Yes.
And so I'd like to say thank you, Ms. Davis, for not being mad at me, because the truth is I may sell all y'all for one good traffic management team.
Yeah. Let's go to the caller before we go to the next other. TN Radio AM. How you doing, caller? That's you. Aaron.
Oh,
press the button.
my bad.
Go ahead, caller. Caller.
Yes, good morning. Morning, Mr. New. How you doing?
Morning. Go ahead, man. How you doing?
All right. I think the fact that we call election season silly season speaks volumes. You know, that kind of way. I mean, I think there should be serious season and not silly season. You know, I mean, we're talking about a time when we are considering individuals to make decisions to lead this country that's going to affect us and our children and grandchildren and everybody else, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? So, I mean, to be considering it to be silly season is a serious thing. You know, and the thing about it is that we are so conditioned as a people, right? Because even Dr. San said this morning on the Ian Strawn show that something to the extent that talking about politics in this country is what consumes all the air, or something like that. And I've been talking about that, you know what I mean? Because we stay talking about the drama between parties. We stay talking about what this one say about that one. Oh, they having convention. Oh, you think this? Oh, like we get all caught up in it like we are nothing but spectators, and that's all we were meant to be. You understand? Like a bunch of slaves on a plantation observing the slave master, them just sitting in the yard talking because we are powerless. You know what I mean? Instead of talking about politics, we need to start to talk about policy. All right? We need to start to talk about policies. All right? That's what we need to start to talk about. as a people. You understand? And the thing about it is that I think Newry might have said something earlier about why would someone want to run. But I think, I can't, but I know why they should run. You should run if you have a vision, or if you're a specialist in something that, you know what I mean, or you have a problem that you want to solve, so that when you are elected, while you are in government, you spend your time creating, building, establishing whatever that thing is that you have. You know, that kind of way, that's what you do. That's why you should go and run. You understand? But the problem is that we don't have individuals with that mindset who go into government. You understand? And that's how come for me, they could have a part-time job. You see, because if you go in there with your vision, you know what I mean? That would be, you can't have a part-time job. You understand?
Okay.
Because the current leaders we have, the only thing they do is they, like how Mr. Lang said, that when we see them on TV, that's when they are working. You understand? When we see them in the House of Assembly, that's when they are working.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I mean? So, you understand? So while they're in the House of Assembly, they ain't talking about the things I'm talking about. You understand? And what we need to, like I saw a recent candidate who was being selected, and he was being interviewed, right? And he was listing off the ills in his community or his constituency or whatever. He was talking about the problems that are there. And I was wondering to myself, if he is talking about these problems for the first time, and is he just realizing these problems because now he is a candidate? Because you know what I mean, or, you know what I mean. Because if you saw them before time, why are you going to be talking about them now? And if he loses, right, is he going to go back to that routine where he pretends as if he don't see these things no more?
Okay, so let's talk about that, and I appreciate that. And all of those things are important, and I'm happy that you remind us about that. Policies over politics. But what about party politics, Aaron? Right? I'm a candidate. I get a nomination for the party. Mm-hmm. The party has a platform. What if I agree with all of the platform the party has? Do I run under the party, or do I need to buy in to the party's platform?
I think, I don't know, party politics in the Bahamas is a very strange thing. It's simple but strange.
They have a list of things to do.
They would have you believe that to be a part of this organization, you must be lockstep. You must abdicate your own thinking. You must just adopt the thinking of the party. But if that were the case, then you wouldn't need a chairman. You just run with the party leader. If that were the case, you wouldn't need a whip in the House, right? Everybody would just be running with the party leader. So inherently, the system shows you that it expects.
Well, we've seen MPs who get left out. Example of that is Hubert Minnis. He's left out. Is he a part of the F&M party? Does he believe he's part of the F&M party? Because he's contrary to what the party wants. What the party is doing.
My advice to those people is, once you've experienced the victim of the system, why would you still play along? Yeah. I waiting for Glenys Hannah Martin to pack up A.D. Hannah's PLP and to take it somewhere where it will
She's
flourish.
A party woman.
Somewhere where it will flourish.
She's a party woman. The party comes first.
With
her. The party comes first with her. She speaks the party language. She totes the party line. You go against that party and she comes and cuts you.
Remember when she didn't tote the party line?
Yeah, and then she get put back into the box to let her know. And she was reminded because she forgot. She's a party woman.
I don't like. I'm just gonna live on a different part of the plantation.
Yeah, that's why you're a part of no party. That's what the call.
Safe over
here. We ain't
here.
inviting you to the barbecue.
And I just want you all to know they don't invite me to the barbecue.
You notice
PLP or FNM or COI.
You notice you'll never see government house. Go ahead, call her Guardian Radio.
I don't know what they grilling anyway. I don't eat it if I don't know it.
Rodney say 3 meats. Go ahead, call her Guardian Radio here.
ICA. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Very interesting. Again, a very interesting conversation this morning. And the takeaway on the conversations, I've noticed two things in particular that I'd like to state here. First of all, talked about policies over party. Mm-hmm. He's absolutely correct, Aaron. Mm-hmm. You've also made mention of 1 or 2 poignant points, whereas, people are towing party lines instead of looking at doing what is the right thing, fighting against policies that your party may put forward and actually being vocal about it. The thing is, I'm sitting here and trying to figure out how is it that we could try and introduce new legislation into the current stuff, but yet we do not have the tenacity to address or attack the bad policies that's existing and try to correct them before we go on to the new stuff. I mean, if you bring about a policy, a good policy, but you have a bad foundational policy, then that good policy is not gonna yield what it is that you think or hope you're gonna yield with it, because a bad policy there is in bad roots. But a government to come into play, and we have a lot of bad policies on the books that these guys have not corrected. You know why people say the two parties are in bed together? Because, as we been saying over the past few years, there are a few known bad policies that's in play that one party would have put in, but during the term of that governance, the other party who's in opposition will talk about it, will bring it up to the forefront and stuff, but yet when they get in, they don't correct it. When are we as a people going to really progress this country beyond the nonsense and the rhetoric that we hear every day? I'm not one who's going to participate in rhetoric for any political party. My whole aim as a citizen is to bring about the awareness to those who want to be willfully ignorant. Because I can tell you what really irks my spirit. We have a lot of intelligent, rational thinking behemoths among ourselves. But because we are so tied to these political parties that we prefer the political party way instead of bringing our people to doing the right thing.
Okay,
when are we going to stop that nonsense? Our children is going to be the end result in terms of suffering because of our lack of tenacity and our lack of standing up for what's right and justice.
Yeah.
They're going to suffer because of us.
Yeah.
The country cannot, in closing, the country cannot progress forward if we have bad policies that's governing most of the movement of the country going forward. It's just not going to happen. Yes. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Let's bring back VJ Edgecombe back inside the conversation.
Okay, because just before we transition back to VJ, I thought I saw a PLP missing persons flyer for Jeremy Sweeting.
He's missing?
Yeah, from the PLP.
Jeremy
Sweeting. Wasn't he intimately involved in the PLP before?
Yeah, he was PLP, but that's how they go. We go back and forth.
Okay, because see, for me, what I find interesting about some of these candidates is that they have established themselves outside of a particular party.
Yeah.
Right? Like they have experience and history agitating and organizing within a professional space or a social community space outside of the party.
Is there such a thing as a Abaco PLP? Or just people who align themselves to a party until...
See, because Abaco is different from Grand Bomb entirely, right?
It's different.
Man, let's go to the caller. That may be a whole show. That may be a whole show.
But let me make this point so I can go to the caller.
Yeah.
VJ Edgecombe mentioned that he was on a generator for 7 years.
Yeah.
On a previous show, we wondered the conditions of Bimini for being one of the richest islands or supposedly have access to so much wealth. And when we say this stark...
Let me say it plainly.
Go ahead.
There's far too much money flowing in and out of Bimini for Bimini to still look like under tobacco davam.
It does look like under tobacco.
That's how we say it, right?
And
yeah, okay.
Since VJ Edgecombe got his NBA drafting, right? A number of people from Bimini have been has been speaking out to man. We've had poor representation for decades. They've been forgotten for decades. Certain things they don't have. But the next general election coming. A next general election coming. Then I'm going to ask you a question now. For say self. Surely this is the time for Bimini to be asking for things.
Yeah.
Have a proper road.
Especially,
have a proper basketball school.
Especially since you know both maybe even three levels. You know that the political class and you know that the government and the political class are going to extract as much value as they can from VJ, whether he likes it or not.
They can take it from him.
Right?
It's our glory.
He's in a position where if he does not accede, if he does not engage, right, as an ambassador and show the world that he's willing to represent his country, then it'll be a bad mark on him.
What can he do for Bimini? He can't do nothing for Bimini. I mean, I don't want him to use his own money. I mean, I want him to spend a couple dollars too, but I don't want him to use his own money first.
Because he's 19, 20. He's a young boy. He should not be doing anything. In fact, that he opened his heart and he said, my mother my brothers and sisters, right? My family.
I can get them a proper house.
Yeah, that's what I...
And he, not a big house. He just want them to get a proper house because where they was living, proper house.
And this Bimini we talking about.
Bimini we talking about. And when you tell Biminites that you all need to demand more, this which y'all have here, he ain't it. And they get defensive. No, we don't need this. I say, what you mean you don't? It's what you deserve.
And hold on, and there's a commentary I saw where somebody's saying, like, if you don't know Bimini, you shouldn't be talking.
Only
You know
Biminites
there are other communities in the Bahamas living in the same.
Yeah.
And I can say that abject poverty, because if VJ Edgecombe was living for 7 years...
I thought he was an immigrant.
Without a generator...
I thought he was an immigrant. Only immigrants do them things.
That's abject... That's abject poverty.
No Bahamian person go through that.
And so now to think that now as this young man goes through and he's navigating, right?
And tell the world.
In the NBA, that he have the weight of being a benefit to his family and the weight of being an ambassador to the country on his back.
That's a lot for a 19-year-old boy, you know.
Exactly.
And for 7 years he has without generator? You know how much gas that is? You know how much gas costs in Family Island? My Lord. Woo damn. That whole people. Anyway, let's go to the caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Yeah, the Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Oh, look here. Okay, start again.
Yeah.
The line breaking up.
You're in a bad line. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's called energy poverty, and it's something that we have to address throughout the Bahamas. But it's something that you could look forward to, as the spoke to last night. You could have an expectation of island to island, community to community, consistency, house to house, and person to person, that you will have an opportunity and ownership economy. But for Jeff, policy is spoken, legislation is written. So any policy that you need for good governance will be spoken into. It is the program, process, and procedures that also has to be put in writing. Policy should be put in writing too, for the people to be implemented. And those change from day to day.
See, Alan, I have a text for you here.
Yes.
It says, Aaron, could you tell me, is C. Alan Johnson going to run in Cat Island?
I'm going to run through Cat Island to let the people know it's time to bring them into the 21st century.
Okay, so watch this. See, Alan, I don't want you to run. Here's why. I went to the FNM website just now to see if it had been updated with the newly ratified candidates. It has not. My critique of you is the same critique I have of Komalafe and the DNA when they made her leader. They should not have made Komalafe leader, not because she's a woman, but because she was the economic brain of the party. She was responsible for bringing their economic platform to the party and to the public. That takes a whole lot of work, and she should not have been burdened with the dynamics of economic platform is one of the biggest things that you got to bring to the public. In the same way, C. Allen, I would
agree with you, because we are moving. We're 6 months away from the 21st century, yet to embrace the first 25 years of the 21st century. And we do need sensible guidance in regards to doing that, because everything in the Bahamas is going to be digitized. But I would tell you that the next incoming government understand what it is to bring digitization to the Bahamas, but also understand how to create that tech hub in Grand Bahama that's been talked about for 25 plus years and everything else. Why? Because of the collective intelligence that now reside within the party that has no problem in bringing them together. And so essentially, what you could have is the change we can depend on, or the change we can believe is here. Real change is here. So what I'm saying, but when you guys talk about the so-called with the party concern, what you have to do is that you look at the candidates, and again I repeat, we must begin to observe. Now that the candidates are being moved, begin to be put in place, what Pintat should come with us. But whoever asks those questions have no understanding of Bahamas. But we have to begin to listen to his policies, like Mr. San said today. Pintat has been speaking about policies for 2 years, but there's so much noise in the marketplace that we haven't been listening, which is the most important thing. But I think now that the candidates have been named, you will begin to hear those policies restated. And it's important for us to begin to question, not just the who, what, which, when, where, and why, but we must demand the house, because people can say things. For instance, Michael Pintat mentioned in the House of Assembly, I thought, and I would challenge anyone in the Bahamas to tell me, when he said that he was going to go for land banking and social housing. If you knew what that was, that would bring housing down in the country easily by 40%, and do these type of things. But we don't seem to like policies. We like theatrics.
Okay, let me respond to that. Yeah, and I do agree. We tend to like theatrics a lot. We are a theatrical, responsive
pomp
country.
and pageantry.
Yes, I like parties. I like going to Government House. I mean, you never get invited, but I like going to Government House. I just say it. I like when they call me and say, Newry, they have a spread, and they bring out and say, bring your takeout plates. I bring my takeout plate, and I take it every day.
Let me tell you how difficult this political discourse is, right? 'Cause I want to mash up Fred Mitchell right now. But from you mentioned Government House, I ain't gonna never forget how Fred Mitchell saw me walking up Blue Hill Road towards Government House and realized that I was probably trying to go put my eye on Nelson Mandela. And he say, "Come, child, let's go." And he take me through the Government House with him.
And you got to go in?
Yeah, well, I was right outside at the door, and I
you won't go on since then.
But what I saying is this thing hard, right? Because we gonna be talking about people we like.
Let's go to this commercial break. We got 5 minutes more. We go quick commercial break. Call ICU. If you stay on, you can be the first one to speak.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Sign up now for the Michael Scootery Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic. This is our 30th year, and we are doing it big. Sign up for 13 and under Tropical Gyro, 16 and under the Myers Group, Sun Oil, 20 and under in the Church Group, We Buy, You Sell, the Design Group in the Open Division, and for the first time, the Jamaica Bahamas Corporate Division. Competition begins July 14th to the 20th at the Hope Center. And then Kendall Isaacs. That's the Michael Scootery Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic, where we shoot hoops instead of guns.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. We're going to speed things up to make sure everybody get included in these last minutes of this conversation. Is there any more text, Aaron?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to this caller. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Good morning again, Newry and Aaron.
Good morning.
Mr. Newry, persons were asking about someone who's going to call the next general election, I guess, similar to or close to Darrell Miller or Rodney Monker. I would nominate C.A. Newry. You have the theatrics to go with that.
I second that.
Thank you. Amen.
I wonder if they paying me any money. But yeah, man.
I second
that. We have some more callers, or that's it right there? Let's go straight to the text line, Aaron.
All right. The F&M chairman said that they are bringing candidates who care for the people, but they didn't bring those who actually stood for the people, like Reese Chipman and Frederick McAlpine.
My name F&M's no
Man, why you want them to do the infamous Perry speech, but I'll swim in my own vomit to go back to the body.
No more.
Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
I second that lady for Mr. Newry and God. I need to come together and go and do the political show.
I got to have Aaron there, man. She's talk sense. I don't talk sense. But go ahead. I appreciate you.
I know. I'm fighting for my life right now, sir. I'm glad you didn't call my name. Good morning. You done? Oh, man, that was cool.
Good fish with
all right, here's another text. Well, not Cat Island. He have more vision to lay out. He is the real chairman of the FNM. See, this is what I'm saying, right, in terms of star power, right? The question is Pintard sufficient star power, right, to lead the party into a victory? Or the FNM on a totally different run, right? Because the star power doesn't have to be front line. The star power is invested in or committed to a space where they develop policy and strengthen systems. For instance, for me, if today was the day I had to make the decision, like I tell you, I go from the paper where they have the list of the 17 ratified candidates, and I go to the website. This event happened last night, and the website has not been updated with this new information. Are you the party that could lead us into the new technological era?
I accept all that.
Yeah.
I accept that. And let's go back to the FNM and compare the star power and the last election with Hubert Minnis. They said he had the charisma as paint drying.
Yeah, that dance was just foolishness.
It's just horrendous. But he got lone power, lone charisma. He called like 4 senior Bahamians. Who all? He called Marvin Dames. It was 4 of them. Marvin Dames, Diagula, or he's going to call it, and several others to add charisma to his lack of charisma-ness. And then, of course, the former Prime Minister came on and said, I endorse him. And then there was electrifying happening within the FNM, and then that charisma caused them to win the election. Perhaps Pintard needs help. Perhaps Pintard needs to call a big name where shock everybody and say, my God, if he supports him, that means he got to be a good leader. Right? Because nobody wanted Hubert Minnis at all because he's that dull, right? Perhaps they need senior FNMs to come forward and say, I'm adding my shoulder to the wheel, my support to him.
Here's the problem with Pintard. It's not that he doesn't have star power, it's that he's in the wrong position. Pintard does not need to be the face of the FNM. Pintard needs to be the brains of the FNM. See, Pintard is the person who can curate a space. He doesn't need to be worried about what he as the leader looks like. He should be busy curating the space. He has the
So you believe you have talent?
And the spatial awareness and critical thinking skills to really organize a party. The same critique I got of Komalafe, she should not have been made leader because she was the root, she was of their economic platform.
So the long and short of it is the FNM bench. The FNM bench, the power behind Pintard needs to come forward and say, we will make him into the ultimate leader. Yes. One leader. One leader.
No, that ain't what I said.
No, you said that?
No, I didn't say that part.
One leader. This has been Guardian Radio, AM with CA Newry. Thank you very much, Aaron Green. We'll continue this conversation next week. Right?
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.